So, Melissa, let's start with a question just regarding this round's challenge. So your team was the winning team in the squad standoff. Uh,
Yeah.
how do you feel? How do you feel things would be different if you were not safe at this point?
Oh, that's a really good question. I mean, so right after the challenge, we all felt so good, and I had such a good team of people. Like, me, Scott, Travis, and Antoinette did the challenge, and I love all of them. I feel like we get along so well. So even if we had lost, we were already talking contingency plans and who we'd be voting for, like on other squads. So I had no worries, win or lose.
Okay, cool. Um, so for someone who hasn't been following hardly at all, who are some of your closest allies at this point? Are they from your team or are they elsewhere?
Yeah, so definitely from my team or teams that I've been on in the past, my kind of ride or die in this game right now is definitely Travis. He was actually safe week one, and my team had gone to elimination, and he was able to vote with us then, and so we kind of like connected then, and then we've just been keeping it up the past couple weeks. So he's definitely like my ride or die. I also have the it's ladies night alliance, so there's five of us women in the game, and I really didn't want to see any of us go the first few eliminations, so I started that, connected all five of us women together. And then I also have the secret society, which has Travis and I in it, and then it also has Isaiah and Jodalie. So we have that four. I've got the five with ladies night. I've got Travis as my ride or die, and then last night we formed our Duke the delivery dog squad. And that's like an inside joke because in the story, for some reason, I thought Duke was a dog that delivered pizzas, and like I really legitimately like had it in my brain that he was a dog that delivered pizzas. So we called him Duke the delivery dog. But so now Scott, Travis, myself, and Antoinette have kind of a separate four inside that. So I really like combining alliances and having multiple people that I can go to in different groups, that'll have my back. I think that's gonna take me pretty far. So we'll see. That's where I'm at right now.
Awesome. That answers a question Duke was wanting to know. Why did she call me a dog?
So in the story, for some reason, like they all had powers, and I really didn't attach onto the powers. I kind of like threw that information out of my brain just because you had to concentrate on so many other things. Like those were things that I was just like, I can't remember this. I immediately forgot two of them. I'm like, there's no point in trying to remember these right now. So for some reason, like I don't know what it is, my brain. We just adopted a dog. His name's Mac. I keep wanting to call him Duke. Like I wanted to call this dog Duke the whole time we've had him. And then I think during the story when they said, "Oh, Duke was the delivery, wonder delivery boy," I was like, "Oh, Duke's a delivery dog." I don't know. I don't know where it came from.
If nothing
So
else,
weird.
it created a great alliance name for you potentially.
Yeah. We've got a little logo with the dog that delivers pizza. I mean,
That is that is
ridiculous.
great. All right, so you mentioned the secret society. Is that what you said it was called? And Isaiah is in that. So Isaiah had some pretty big moments last night. Just touch on the red wedding, what your thoughts of that are, how that affects you moving forward, etc.
Honestly, it affects me well. Anytime anybody lashes out at anybody, I think it paints a target on their back. Ultimately, in the end, people don't like getting called out, and then they tend to walk on eggshells around those people, which then causes them to have some animosity. So I love it when people are loud and boisterous because it takes the target off me. That being said, with Isaiah in our alliance, I don't ever take anything at face value. And I had tons of conversations last night. I immediately went to Steve because I have a pretty good rapport with him, and I got some inside information from his perspective on everything that had happened. And then I talked to Kira, who's also in my Ladies Night Alliance, and we had been pretty close because we've been on a couple teams together. And I talked to her, and then I also talked to Isaiah, of course. So I really think the whole thing was blown way out of proportion, which again plays well for anybody on the outside looking in. Anytime there's a misdirection or anything off of you, I think it's good for your gameplay. And it paints a target on those 3-4 people that were involved. I don't know how much Emma was involved. I think she'll kind of get out of this pretty much scot-free, but the other 3 people that were a big part of it, I don't think it ever looks good on you to be yelling at other people and taking it to the next level. As much as I enjoy watching it, I mean, I sat back and it was like I was sipping the tea, the whole time. So it was pretty enjoyable. But that being said, I don't know how much of the story was true. I don't know where all of this is fabricated from. And, people get very sensitive when their names get thrown out and emotional. And so I think ultimately I trust Steve's version more. It was Steve, right? Yeah. Steve's version more. And it's a combination of his and Isaiah's. And I really do think Kira is lying quite a bit about things. Even though she's in my Ladies' Night Alliance, I don't know if I would be sad to see her go. She's pretty manipulative. She's already lied to my face. Travis and I, my ride or die, I know everything that he says to everybody else. We're very open and honest with each other. And he flat out told me that he told Kira about his power. And when I asked her, because I was like, oh my God, how did you get Steve to tell you about your power? That's so crazy. And she's like, oh yeah, I said this and did this and he told me and blah, blah, blah. And I said, whoa, that's so cool. Like, how do you get other people to tell you their power? And she said, oh, I don't know anybody else's. I know that's a lie. I'm pretty sure she knows one of Amanda's, and I know for a fact she knows Travis's. So just to flat out lie to me and say like, oh, I don't know, it was just a good guess, no. So that's where I'm at with those 3 people.
Interesting. So on the topic of powers, since it seems to be out there pretty freely, what are your thoughts on that? Is that adjusting how you're playing the game? Give me your feel on the powers.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to go into my notes in Ascendance right now because I wrote all of this down. So let me open this up real fast because this is like where I keep all my information and everybody's powers and stuff. So I think obviously there's 10 powers in the game. I feel like a lot of people know that, and if you don't know that, I don't know what you're doing. It's kind of been revealed that there's basically 10 powers in the game. And so I've been on a mission to try to figure out everybody's powers. Right now, I know Travis has a steal a vote, or it might be an extra vote. For some reason, I wrote steal a vote, but I think it's actually an extra vote. And I was trying to go back in our chat and find it all, but I can't quite find it. So I actually think it's an extra vote, not a steal a vote. So Travis has an extra vote. He says he can play it until the final 5. Scott has a steal and advantage, and he says he can play his until the final 6. Steve has a read the votes. I guess that was kind of outed last night. I still didn't even understand what that meant, and he clarified it for me. So you can actually find out who voted for who after a vote and read all of the votes. Amanda has an idle nullifier. She has a second one, which I don't know about yet. I just don't know what it is. And then Riley, he's got one. He picked Robin because all of the names of them are like Superman, Batman, whatever. There's like all different names of all of the advantages. So he picked Robin. I just don't know what it is. So those are the advantages in the game right now. There's 4 left. I don't know who's going to get them or when they're going to be up. I don't know if there'll be like 2 next round or like all 4. Kind of felt like there were 16 people left. Maybe we'll have 4 teams of 4. I don't know. So, but that's where I'm at with advantages.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we're nearing what? This is the end of round 3, I believe.
Yeah.
So now that you've been in Ascendance, you've gotten the feel of the format. What adjustments are you making after this 3rd round? What are you seeing in terms of strategy wise? Now that you've kind of got to get in the mix and feel how it works, where's your head with it?
Yeah, I'm an if it ain't broke, don't fix it person. So my strategy has been working well. It's really just to be social with people and be nice and listen. I think listening is the most underrated trait you can have, especially in a game like this. I like to talk a lot, so it's hard for me. I have to sit back a lot more and just really listen to people and figure out what they want, because the more that you can help other people, the more it's going to help yourself ultimately, like, in the end. And so I think I'm just going to stick with my alliances, especially like my alliances within the alliances, and just keep that core really strong. And then at the same time, as much as I say, like, have this unbreakable shell and stay strong, you have to be flexible. You know, stuff can happen, things can turn on a dime. Part of the reason we formed the Duke the Delivery Dog team is because we really fear there is some sort of like double elimination, or, you know, we've got elimination tonight, live night tomorrow, elimination Saturday. Like, 3 people could be going home right then. So I feel like if I stay with those people, we'll stay really strong.
Cool.
Yeah.
So in terms of this round's elimination, as someone who's not going to the vote, how much are you gonna, push for a certain agenda? Do you have a certain agenda in mind? Where do you kind of stand with that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everybody always has an agenda somewhat, but at the same time, I'm going to let the cards fall as they may. If Kira goes, it's probably ultimately good for my game because I do feel like she's lying and very sneaky. If Steve goes, then my Kira's still in the all girls alliance, and so that's still really strong. It gives us somebody to target down the line. So I don't think I'm going to nitpick too much because I ultimately don't necessarily care who goes.
Fair
You
enough.
know?
Fair enough. Is there anything else you'd like to touch on, maybe that I didn't ask a question of, just regarding your gameplay so far?
Nope. This was it. I mean, definitely my eye is on the advantages, and then just keeping track of where people are and what they're doing and what they're saying to others, just so I know if people are lying or truthful type thing. So,
Cool. All
yeah.
right. Let me just double check the viewers lounge one more time.
Sure.
It's middle of the day. We didn't get a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no. Well, wait. Someone's typing. Let's see if it's a question before I cut you off. Nope. Okay. All right. So I don't think we have any questions for you, but I appreciate your time. I'll go ahead and stop the recording.